All right, we are back at Denmark Drone Park. It's been a while. We have Mohit, the lead developer of World's iVue and the iVue RC app. We have a Developer Mini exactly as you would buy it from our website, or I say exactly, but if you were to buy it from our website, you would have a couple more side plates with ports that you can plug in servo devices or basically 3-pin devices, power ground data via the PWM breakout board, or on the Pixhawk 6C Mini, there's a total of 14 ports, 6 of them being aux ports. These are already used propellers. You get new propellers, and then of course you get the battery and battery charger. The battery charger is actually being used right now to charge another battery, but fairly straightforward. And then lastly, you receive one of these little radio modules. You might actually receive one that just has the USB, not this one that goes in the module of a transmitter or in the module bay of a transmitter. And this does not come with the Developer Mini. You would actually need to use your own USB-C cable. So someone was asking if we use FTDI. We actually use, is it Web Serial or Web USB?
Web Serial.
We use Web Serial. Currently for the web browser. Again, the web browser is ideal for drone flights over the internet, which we have done, and we are working on building that out in the iVue RC app just to be more user-friendly for people that don't want to go through QGroundControl or Mission Planner, which also includes us. So let me go ahead and plug in this radio. Again, just fairly straightforward, plugging USB in on both ends, allowing. One of those allows was for the radio to be accessed by my computer, and then the other was for World's iVue to access our location. All right, we are not getting a red flashing light as we should. Let me unplug this, plug it back in. Now we're getting the red flashing light. I don't know exactly what the cause of that not working exactly as it should was, but in any case, let's go ahead, take the Developer Mini out. Probably drop that down, but as long as it's not in the way, we'll keep it there for the time being. Yeah, Mohit, you can just like stand there and look good for camera. And
All right.
I'm kidding. But we're gonna mostly just be doing some testing with the iVue RC app, see where its limitations are, see where we run into bug issues, and then hopefully address those. If not out here at the field, at least identify them, and then here in the next couple days we'll be back out here and doing some more testing. I don't think we have a fully charged battery, or I know it's definitely not a fully charged battery. Don't know how depleted it is, but we'll see here momentarily. All right, we have the green flashing light. That means we have a solid connection. Let's go ahead, open up the iVue RC app, select add a drone, connect to drone. Disregard the outdated white images. Developer used to be white, and we decided if it is white, it ain't right. Now it's red, if you can't tell if you're colorblind. All right. Nonetheless, we are now zoomed into the developer's location as indicated by a base model developer image called Drone 1 instead of, Developer Mini and, having a Developer Mini
Okay,
image.
I got it. I got it. Chill out.
And yeah, no, we don't have a fully charged battery, but should be enough for just doing a basic Waypoint test. And then we have another battery charging just about fully charged for more testing as needed. So you said we should be able to have 2 windows open right now. So
Yeah.
now I can.
So they'll appear. One will appear on top of the other, but like.
Got it. Nice. So okay, we have. And then what about the drone modes menu? The drone modes menu is no longer working.
Oh.
Wah, 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 wah.
That is a simple fix that will be resolved immediately after this recording, people.
Nice. All right.
Yippee.
So hopefully we don't need to access that. I don't think we should, especially for doing automated flight test. I just put Develop Air Mini into loiter flight mode, and you know what? We're gonna go completely no controller. We're gonna go hands off for this first flight. So going over to the mission screen, let's add a mission and create a mission. For drone 1, it's a Develop Air Mini, not a drone 1. All right, so I'm adding a waypoint. So there's a tree out there. I don't know if you want to like pan over to that tree. So we're gonna do a waypoint mission around that tree, and you'll be able to see on my screen, the cursor is the tree that the camera just pointed at. Just to give you a little bit of reference for the mission we're about to do. So we'll set the altitude to 30 feet. That should be high enough to avoid the tree while still being close enough to the ground to not make Brian's job too much of a challenge. Freaking haters. If you live close to the Atlanta, Georgia area and you want to come help us increase our video production quality, then, you know, reach out. Be part of the solution, not the problem, people. I bring more than enough problems to the table myself. I don't need any more. All right, so we have a mission created. Let's go ahead, upload mission. Mission upload complete.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and now let's go back to drone 1. And do you think we can just start waypoint mission, or would we have to arm and then start waypoint mission?
Believe you should be able to just start it.
All right, let's try that out. So must arm. So that would ideally be something that I get questions asked a lot. Why or what is arming a drone? And that's really just a technical term for making it so the drone can kick on the motors, and especially when there's props on, you don't want to do that accidentally. So nonetheless, let me arm drone and then start waypoint mission, and let's see what happens. So it takes off to, I don't know, roughly 10 feet. So
Yeah.
that seems about right. And then it
Afterwards,
climbs
it
in
climbs up to 30 feet diagonally.
and that's as it's set.
Yeah.
That's correct. And it should just hover there. I don't remember uploading a land or return to launch.
Nope, you do not.
All right. So let's go ahead and test out the controller now. We think that the latency might be better, that we've updated the frequency for
Yeah, so rather
sending
than
and receiving messages, or just for controller messages.
right. So now the drone should receive updates from the GCS, that being iVue RC, far more frequently. And that will fix the problem.
And I guess we could test this out. We're not going to today because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or at least that's the way I'm gonna state it today. You could theoretically use Bluetooth for your game controller connected to your computer, which I have done before. I don't know through the iVue RC app, but I would just recommend USB for best performance.
But theoretically speaking, it's just connecting your controller to Bluetooth and then afterwards.
And I just pressed the cross button on the controller and that activated it. You can press any button on the controller. Now I'm just going to hit loiter on the iVue RC app, or within the iVue RC app. And now I should have, oh yeah, that is so much smoother.
Actually?
Yeah, very noticeably so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Dude, holy. No more QGroundControl is necessary for basic operations, whether you have a waypoint mission you want to fly or you want to fly with a game controller. And yeah, forward is forward, back is back. I updated that parameter back at the workshop. I think you could see we have flashing red lights. So that's the battery status lights that are flashing.
It's flashing because it's stupid low.
And it's really not actually stupid low. We should probably update those lights to a lower voltage, because basically how the battery monitoring works is if I were to land this Developer Mini right now, those lights would turn from flashing red to at least red, if not even yellow, because there's actively voltage being used, and quite a bit of it, from those motors keeping Developer Mini in flight.
Right.
That there's something called voltage sag that's happening, where the voltage number that's being read out here is lower than what there actually remains as far as battery life.
Gotcha.
And so with those battery status lights being based off the voltage number, it's showing that there's less battery life than what there actually is.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe not the best way of wording it, but now we're gonna go ahead and test something out here and see what happens if we disconnect from the iVue RC app while Developer Mini is in flight. So I've adjusted the parameters on this one. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. I think it is set like a typical Developer Mini that we've sold with Radio Master Boxer controllers. And that's actually included in the kit I mentioned earlier for $999. We are now going to offer this Developer Mini for $799 without the controller and that TX module, just a USB radio. So be on the lookout for that coming to the iVue Robotics website here in the next month or two. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and actually test out what I just stated. First, I will put developer, I'll just keep it in loiter mode, and I'll just disconnect. I was gonna unplug the controller, but let's just disconnect.
See, try taking away power from the telemetry radio.
So nope, and I think Developer Mini was coming down to land. Nope, it's still just hovering there. But yeah, let's unplug the telemetry radio. And it's still just hovering there. So that's not how the Developer Mini typically performs when you use a Radio Master Boxer and you lose RC input. And by definition, also the ground control station, like Mission Planner and QGroundControl, the iVue RC app, connected via Bluetooth through that Radio Master Boxer. After a few seconds, it would realize, hey, I no longer have connection to a controller or ground control station, and it would automatically just land. But now we're going to wait and see how much longer we can get out of this Developer Mini before it automatically comes down for landing based off of the critical battery voltage level. So we play the waiting game.
By the way, where is the light? Is it like at the back where you can't see it? Or?
Yeah, right now it's where you can't see it. So again, to reiterate, we have no way of controlling this Developer Mini right now. We could easily just plug in the radio and reconnect to it, but we're just wanting to make sure, even without a connection to it via our drone control app, the iVue RC app, that it still will come down by itself when the battery is at a critical level. It's a nice stable hover. Fairly quiet. Now, when I say Developer Mini should do this or should do that, and more specifically, what the Failsafe parameters are can all be adjusted. So if you would like your Developer Mini to come back to land the home location versus just land wherever it is versus just hover there in place, this is all configurable. And so if you have questions about how to do so, of course, feel free to reach out. If not, there's plenty of documentation out there for RG-Copter that is directly applicable to these developer models.
Furthermore, the goal should be that on iVue RC, it will be as easy as pie to set all these parameters up.
Yeah, do all the configuration that right now we're still reliant on QGroundControl and or Mission Planner for. And as you would have seen in the video earlier today, we had the Developer Mini rebooting issue where we able to do that through the iVue RC app, but not the QGroundControl app, and also the compass calibration had to do through the QGroundControl app. So there's still a little bit of back and forth is what I'm getting at, but sooner than later, you should only need the iVue RC app and World's iVue to operate a develop air or any develop air model and get the most out of it. One other thing that would be nice to see in the iVue RC app that exists in QGroundControl is how long you've actually been in flight, you know, how long since you've taken off.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're just kind of guessing based off of the camera roll.
I can put that in.
And so yeah,
Yes.
basically once it arms and takes off, it starts the timer, and then once it like lands.
And there will always be like a place where it says, "Oh, it's been in flight for so and so long."
Yep. We're gonna be out here, I think, for a little while because the Develop Air Mini battery life is about 30 minutes. We've gotten a 30-minute hover with it, and still could have probably gotten another minute or two out of it, but 30 minutes is what it's rated for. Mr. Cameraman, where are we at as far as the roll time? Do you have access to that readily available? Would you have to stop the recording, or is there an info button or anything you can hit for that information? So again, this Develop Air Mini is just hovering, maintaining its position with no way to currently control it via ground control software or directly via a controller. But it should still, once the battery gets to its critical level, automatically land. We do not have a low battery fail-safe, so if you wanted to, especially if you're flying a longer range mission, you could operate your Develop Air Mini, across the drone park, beyond the drone park, and have it return to the launch location or the home location when it gets to low battery level. And then if it's on the way back and not going to make it and it gets to the critical battery level, then it'll just come down for the landing wherever it is. I think it's starting to lose battery voltage, although that could have been a wind gust. It would be nice to know what the battery voltage is at, but I don't want to cheat this test by reconnecting to ground control software. So let's see, we tested Waypoint missions. That's working as it should,
Yes.
although with room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Game controller is working perfectly.
Almost perfectly. We're going to get the buttons working very soon.
Well, yeah, so as far as just for operating Develop Air, it's working as good, if not even better than, and I would argue better than QGroundControl, definitely better than Mission Planner.
Yep.
given Mission Planner has button mapping for the controller, which, as you just mentioned, we're working on.
And now we're testing this to see if battery actually works.
And then we could test the geofence, right? Is there any other functionality that's not very tested in the iVue RC app or not tested at all?
No, I think the geofence is a sole
Remainder?
Yeah.
Remaining test subject. Yank it down. I definitely did not lose my magnet. Second time today, people, losing my magnet. It's almost like I should put the magnet on the inside of my pocket and not the outside. Retracing my steps. The commentary everyone's getting, no one asked for, but they're getting anyway. Oh magnet, where art thou, magnet? Magnet acquired. There's no gust developer mini can't fight off. Actually, probably about 35 mile per hour gust. It would really, really struggle, maybe even 30 mile per hour gust. Man, it's gonna be really sad if it doesn't actually land properly. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
You get that one, Brian? Oh man, I can't do the jump over it after it's already stopped. No fun in that. You actually got the tail end of the last stunt, if you will. I'll bring this over with me. We'll do the battery swap over here and then we'll go set it back out. And I set a parameter to enable geofences. That has not been default across our develop air models leading up till now, at least since we've switched from PX4 to ArduPilot quite a few years ago. 2-3 years ago, something like that. Incalculable.
Would you like me to charge this one?
Or just put it in the trunk. What you gonna do with all that chunk? All that junk.
I think the computer turned off.
It just timed out. Yeah, at some point our screen recording stopped. Let me check our storage level and then I'll get this going. Yeah, I have 95 gigs of storage still available, so. All right, resyncing audio. And so you saw Developer Mini do what it was supposed to, come down for landing after not doing what it was supposed to as far as coming down for landing when we lost connection to the ground control software. So again, that can be configured. We'll tinker around with those parameters and then do some more testing, but for the time being, as long as you can get within range to reestablish your connection, you'll know you'll be all right before your Developer Mini comes down for landing automatically due to the battery level. All right, I am now back in front of the computer, replugging in the radio, controller still plugged in. Now I'm going to connect to drone. See Developer Mini's position on the map update. We're gonna go to fence, add a geofence. And we'll take the geofence just to the other side of that tree, so we know we shouldn't be able to get too far past that tree before we get an error. And quite frankly, not sure what we're going to see. I don't know what the parameter is set by default for if you go to breach the geofence, if it returns to landing or just immediately tries to land. I think it's a return to landing, so we'll verify that. All right, let me open up the terminal window, upload geofence to drone. I'm gonna redo that. All right, geofence upload completed. And let's go back to drone 1. Arm and fly drone. I always like doing the automatic takeoffs wherever possible, even though we could just take off with the controller. And now I'm gonna go into loiter mode, activate the controller, and now I should just be able to fly it past the tree. And I am full stick forward and I cannot move it forward anymore. So it
acts like a border.
Yep.
It sounds like an invisible border.
Yeah, it's an invisible dog fence.
Let me out!
Yep.
That's
so yeah, leave the ridiculousness to me, Mohit. I do so well at All right, so geofences are working just as I would hope them to. So I don't think there's really any updates.
The only thing that
are pressing.
we need to do is it should include more points. Like you should be able to customize points. And
Yes.
second off,
actually visualize, and that goes for waypoints. Once you actually are flying, you should be able to visualize the waypoint mission as well as the geofence on the map. So you could basically see the develop air icon follow along the route.
right. And then third off, you should be able to say, oh yeah, if it hits the geofence, should it land where it is, or should it go back to a specific point?
But even this, I think just treating it like the invisible dog fence, that's great for beginners.
That's great for right now.
And I say we just leave it like this for the time being. We have plenty of other updates to focus on that I think unless we start seeing the army of CCP sympathizers and DJI dick riders demanding otherwise, then, yeah. I'm kidding, people. Chill. Leave the sense of humor to me. Wow, this is so much better flying with the game controller with this update.
The geofence go past us. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it all the way. We don't want to like fly out there to go recover it, right? Or walk out there. I know English, ladies and gentlemen. Getting too close for comfort?
A bit. hey yo, that side, that side. One more.
That's some pro piloting right there.
Yep, Jacob Andrews, everyone.
What more could you ask for? What a beautiful product. If you're not turned on by that, like this developer mini is turned on, shown by all of its lights, then I don't know what to tell you. But in any case, I think that's one hell of a test session with the iVue RC app. Mohit, thank you for all of your help for getting it to this point. Stay tuned for more updates that you'll see over the next days, weeks, months, years to come. And as I mentioned in our last video, obviously still a mountain of work to be done, but we will catch up with DJI in no time, surpass them, and I say like 3 to 5 years, at least from a technical perspective. Obviously still work to scale out what we have already, but just continue watching, stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Peace.
Bye, everyone.